Back with the car again. I haven't got it for MOT yet because we're in the middle of a fuel crisis, so I'm titting around. These are the refurbished BRM wheels with the new Falcon tyres. These brakes are going to produce a lot of dust until they clean up properly, so I'm going to wax the wheels inside and out. Not the mating surface, just the actual alloys, just so that it's easier to clean the brake dust off later. It's always a good idea to do with brand new wheels anyway, because they just, help you when you clean them later. I've also been cleaning up the hubs with the wire wheel and the gun. Just a note, I've deliberately sourced wheels that have no balance weights on them for the front, and the ones that do have weight, albeit tiny amounts of weight. That one also doesn't have any weights on it, so those two are the fronts. This one I think has some weight, but not a lot. So obviously a nice set of wheels, those. So yeah, those two on the front, those two will go on the back. And I'm also treating the car to a set of these new wheel nuts, which have stainless steel caps, but mild, well not mild, but zinc passivate coated sides, because the originals look like that, and that's a nice one, but quite a few, the covers are missing or they're damaged, so it's just going to get a full set of matching new ones. Just taking it for a quick spin. Makes lots more interesting noises. Brakes are cleaning up nicely, even the rears don't look so sad now. And when I say quick spin, I mean literally just up and down the road, but I'm sure they'll all come good. So I've run out of time again. I do have time just to show you something I'm very pleased with. I think I might have mentioned it in another video, but ultra rare, very hard to find, genuine original GSI actual leather steering wheel. So rather than the plastic mimic one, this is it's so hard to find. It's a non-airbag GSI with the horn. These, if you can find them, they're usually about, I don't know, 150 quid, but it looks so much nicer in my opinion than the plastic copy one. Very rare. Love that. I think it might, I'm not even sure if this car could have had it as an option. I think it was on the earlier SLI or GSI ones, I'm not sure. I don't know my R8s brilliantly yet. This is my kit for the gear linkage. So these replace the bushes. These are machined nylon from Mumby Engineering. I think you can find them on eBay, so when I've fitted them we'll see how much better the gear change gets. That's it, I'm getting rained on. The big day, MOT day. Just put a jerry can's worth of fuel in it because I haven't driven it up the petrol station yet. Covered up that rusty blister with blue tape just in case that's a sharp edge. Everything else on the car works. The brakes do still really need cleaning up, so I'll buzz it around a bit, get it warmed up before I actually take it round. But fingers crossed we have mobile transport. Just been for a quick run in the car just to check on it, and the handbrake is utterly poo, so I've been giving it def with handbrake on and they've cleaned up a bit, but it still sucks. So gonna jack the back of the car up and see how much I can wind the handbrake up before it starts to bind, and hope that I can do it that way, which is a bit of a cheap crappy way of doing it, but what we shall do. Damn it, why do I leave things so late? Basically on this car, rather than being able to adjust both cables independently at the front, it's on this split cradle, so you can tighten up the whole assembly but you can't tighten one wheel independently. That's annoying because when the cable or the handbrake is up about 4 clicks, the far side locks off, this side still is free to turn. which means that there's something not happy with the mechanism. So I'm going to take the cover off and just have a quick look and see if I can see what's going on. One good thing about this car, and it was the same on my green 400, despite these being, what is this car, 20 something years old, there's very little rust on even stuff like this tin plate, which it gets completely annihilated by heat off the disc and salt water in the winters and that. It's remarkably rust free, and all the little M6 bolts came out perfect, so that's good. What's less good is there is no adjustability here at the caliper end. That's the cable, and it's just held by a gate spring clip. So I think this is all a symptom of the brakes not being bedded in, which is a shame, because that is like not an old disc by any means. It's just rust from sitting. Those pads have probably got 5 or 6 mil on them, so I'm gonna have to just basically take a longer drive before I get there, and I will nip up the handbrake mechanism a tad until it starts to feel like it wants to bind after 3 clicks, and then hope it cleans up before I get there. This is really not looking good. That is the handbrake yanked up as hard as I can get it. This wheel still turns. So off with the wheel again, off with that inspection cover. And I think the handbrake arm has actually seized on the caliper. So I'm going to have to get a pair of grips, bit WD-40, and work it backwards and forwards and hope it frees up. Usually when they seize on, and you have a job knocking them off. Whereas this way, or this one, I think it's the other way around. Oh God, I'm out of breath because I've been wrestling with stuff. Well, at least I know what the problem is. That ring and lever pull the handbrake on, and basically that is seized up, so I can knock it on but it doesn't want to release. So basically this whole mechanism I'm going to need to work backwards and forwards a lot, trying to break down the rust or corrosion, whatever's in there, just to get through the MOT. Either that's going to free off eventually, I usually do, or I'll have to get a new caliper. So very annoying. Wish me luck. Plot thickens. Just release the cable off here. That caliper is now free to do whatever the hell it likes, and yet disc is still reluctant to turn in the caliper. So we have a more in-depth problem in here. So with great haste I will now take the caliper off its guides and take a look at what's going on with the piston. It might be seized in the bore, or starting to seize in the bore. This might be a bit of a false start then, even bothering to take this for the MOT, because I've got an hour till the MOT starts, and basically that piston is seized in there. I don't have my bleeding kit or any stuff like that, so even if I pop the piston out, clean it up, put it back together again, I don't think I'll be able to bleed it, get it up. I don't think I've even got any brake fluid. So all in all, a bit of a disaster. So I'm going to do some thinking, hopefully some bodging, and we shall see what happens. I'm in two minds as to whether to show what I've done or not, because it's probably not the best thing in the world to do. But in the spirit of my channel, which is showing everything that I do real world type, I thought I'd show it, and if it looks like an almighty bodge I just won't upload the video. Anyway, I've taken the caliper off, mole grip's there to stop the brake fluid leaking out. Caliper is now in to garage. Workbench. It is unseized by using a big pair of Stilsons. I've also had a damn good poke and clean around where the seal goes. The seal isn't leaking, it's just the dust seal has gone and then caused corrosion, which was causing that to stick. But working it backwards and forwards with WD-40, it now works. So I can pull the handbrake, if I remember which way it goes, and I spoke too soon, maybe it needs a bit more freeing off, but basically it was working just then. I'll give it another go, try and reunite it with the car and test it on the car, and then also make sure that the foot brake works, because it can't have been working before. It must have just been the other calipers that are working. Caliper piston withdrawn a little bit more, and you can see where the corrosion has developed, but you can also see the bit back there which has been nicely protected and is still good. So I'm going to wind it back in, lubricate it, shove it back in the car and hope it works. Caliper is on, found some brake fluid, found a piece of pipe and some more spanners. We just got to get lucky now. Well, I've made it to the MOT station and it hasn't blown up, which is good, although what is quite annoying is some moisture in the headlamp. I didn't realise there's a crack up here, so hopefully that'll be alright. It doesn't look too bad, but we shall see. The brakes seem to work though. Handbrake is extremely tight, so I'm hoping it will bed in while it's on the rollers. Squeaky bum time. So yesterday at the MOT station, it was a big fat fail. Fail. Do not drive until repaired. Dangerous defects. Parking brake efficiency less than 50%. So the foot brake worked after my massaging of the caliper, but the handbrake still didn't. Good news is it passed totally on emissions. The even better news is just before I ordered a whole load of brake parts, I thought, oh, I wonder what I've got in my garage. And I went through my garage and I found some more calipers. These rusty ones, I've got no idea genuinely where they came from and why I've got them. These ones I bought for the bubble turbo. They were supposedly refurbished, and I think they have been, but I mean, the pistons look okay, but it just looks like their refurbishment finish at the end was to dust them with silver paint, so they're a bit rusty now, but never mind. Also got new pads and new discs, genuine Unipart brake discs. Again, these are just on my shelf ready for the bubble, so all of this stuff is going to find its way onto this car and I'll have to buy new stuff for the bubble, but at least it saved me waiting days for more stuff to arrive. So anyway, car is going to go up in the air, it's all going to come apart again, and I'm going to hope I've got enough brake fluid left to bleed it. I was so sure I was onto a winner, but it turns out I'm not. That is the caliper I've just removed from the car. That is the one I was going to replace it with. It's really hard to tell because they do look so similar, but the actual bodies are different sizes, which makes me think the pistons are different sizes, which means they probably won't fit. So I'm going to take the pads out of this one, measure the pistons and just see what's what. Day of fail continues. Definitely not the right caliper. And interestingly enough, neither are these. These are different again. So I don't know what these are off. I think they might be MGZS rear calipers, but the pads are quite different sizes, and the carriers are different. That's not necessarily a problem because you quite often have carriers that are different and yet the caliper that bolts to it will be the same. But these are very different. They are a lot bigger, different guide. I think these actually might be for a vented rear disc. They're just so chunky. So I will need to buy new calipers, or at least send these away to be refurbished, which is annoying because then that's another day that I'm without the car. Rubbish. Right, I've bit the bullet. I've just ordered 2 more calipers from Euro Car Parts, so I will get the other one off because there's a surcharge on these ones. So what I'll do is carry on doing as much as I can do, which is get both rear calipers off, clean up the hubs, clean up the carriers, lube the guides, pins, I could even fit the pads in there, and then when the calipers, I'm going to collect them Monday, I can bosh them on, get some more brake fluid, and it will have to be done Monday. And then hopefully we'll book an MOT Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. So I'm not going to film much of this because it's really boring, and hopefully you'll see nice calipers going on shortly. Tiny offside update. It was going swimmingly well until I knackered the head of the little Phillips screw that holds the disc to the hub. There's two, and one came out, the other one rounded, which is super annoying because I was being really careful as well. So what I've done is tried to drill the top of it out, but my initial drill bit broke, and although there's a big garage over there with cars in it, I don't have any of my drills here. So then I found, still in my pillar drill, was a hole saw, and that actually has a high carbon steel drill bit in the middle, so that's allowed me just to get to about there. But now that's blunted, so now it's drilled out most of the way. I'm trying to just smash it off with a hammer and hoping it comes off. So it should just break the head, and then with some grips should be able to get the rest out. We shall see. Super excelente. Well, that's easy. That's the ring for the ABS, which I'm glad I never had to excavate. It doesn't actually look rusty at all, so that sensor error must have just been some random thing to do with the wiring, which has then fixed itself, which is my kind of problem. Anyway, I'll get some grips, try and get that stud out, and then put the disc on and carry it on, and then calipers next week. I found another drill with another drill bit. I managed to drill all the way through the thing. I'm just trying to grab it out with a pair of pliers now. God damn it, the frustrations of simple jobs when they just go tits up. A bit more of it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You don't even need these. These are just to stop the disc falling off and dirt dropping down behind when you take your wheels on and off. Still got one there, so I can just grind that smooth if I need to. It's just pissing me off. Fuck you, done it. It's out. There's a tiny bit there which I can pick off, and I might chase the thread out. I doubt I'll even use that because I don't have the right screw for it anymore. So I'll just put the other one back in there. Try again with the rear brakes. Got discs, pads again to replace my stocks of the ones that were earmarked for the bubble turbo. New calipers, a pair of, because I don't like doing just one side at a time, particularly when they're old, because one will be slow to extend and slow to back off and the other one won't be. So it just makes for funny wear rates. Anyway, I won't bother recording much of this. I'm just going to shove them on, bleed it up, and hopefully get a retest later today. I've definitely been spending too much time with Matt from Furious Driving, because I have just gone to put my new caliper on the car, tried to bolt the handbrake cable to the caliper. Excuse the shoes, I forgot my scruffy ones, and basically one of the threads that should have a hole tapped in it for, what's that, M8, and basically the thread is wrecked. And they must have known, well, not Euro car parts obviously, but that's a good thread. That one is ruined. It doesn't have any groove, so it's either been stripped or they've had a seized bolt and drilled it out and taken too much material away. But either way, I will not be fitting that caliper today. I will not be putting the wheels back on, and I will not be getting my MOT retest, which has completely screwed up all my plans. So fuck you, caliper. James versus caliper round whatever we're on now It is a stonking day and I've bunked off the end of my day of work. Got my new caliper. This time does actually have threads in it, so I will put that on. I've got assistance of a foot, so hopefully when I get to the bleeding point, Steve will come up and help me bleed it, and then hopefully I can get it in for a retest this afternoon. I haven't actually rung the MOT station, but it's literally just the handbrake, so it should be doable. Brakes are done. Celebrating with a car wash. Eating beef hula hoops, it's getting quite loud. And just got an MOT later on today. The brakes are definitely going to need re-bleeding, but they should be good enough now once the handbrake's bedded in a bit to pass the test. Good news, we have a pass and no advisories, which is excellent. Still a couple of things to do, like fix the driver's electric window, which doesn't work, and the electric mirrors don't work. Other than that, everything else on the car works. I still want to fit my nice shiny new steering wheel, and I still want to refit the handbrake trim center console thing, because I had to remove that to get to the handbrake, and I want to do a lot of detailing, make it look really nice inside. Yeah, but other than that, very happy. That's the end of this video.